Good morning and welcome to this week's check-in from the announcements to show you what we're going to be going over in Canvas this week, looking at assignments, different resources to help you be successful as we continue forward in this quarter together. So if you click on your calendar tab, as I'm sure you are all doing often to stay on top of things, go down to this week. This week we're going to be looking at a couple different ways to dig into our text and get a little bit more out of our reading. Hopefully you've been enjoying our reading of Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Lots of good stuff happening. I'm sure you all have your theories about who done it, who committed this crazy murder of Samuel Ratchet. So keep those theories in mind. Keep that critical reading and thinking alive as you go through this book. And I'm giving you some tools to continue digging deeper into those ideas. So today, take a look at murder mystery tropes as a PowerPoint. Lots of good information on there that talks about how Agatha Christie really defined the genre of mystery writing. She was one of the first people to make it what it is today. She deserves to get a lot of credit for that. She's called the Queen of Crime in a lot of contexts. She worked with ideas that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle kind of perfected. Of course, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote the Sherlock Holmes series, I'm sure you're familiar with. So she takes some of his ideas, but she really makes them her own and really sets a model that all subsequent mystery writers follow. So last week we talked about archetypes and how you see repetitive characters happening over and over in a book, like a hero and a villain are basically in all stories ever told. Tropes are similar, they're like archetypes, except they're more about plot points as opposed to characters. And Agatha Christie set the bar for a lot of those tropes. What she wrote, writers today are copying. Like if you're watching an older murder mystery, there's that kind of cliche that the butler did it, right? Agatha Christie started that cliche, so that's how famous and cool she is. So take a look at the murder mystery tropes that's posted in the modules. You're also going to be reading further into Murder on the Orient Express. Read part 2, chapters 1 through 6 by Tuesday. And then to get a little bit of historical context, more information about Agatha Christie's inspiration for this book, you can look at the PowerPoint, The Lindbergh Tragedy, which tells in a lot more detail the story of the Lindbergh kidnapping and subsequent murder. Then we are going to be doing a little bit of reading from Thomas Foster's book, How to Read Literature Like a Professor. I have those book chapters scanned as PDFs for you, and those are linked in the modules. You'll be reading the chapter, Is That a Symbol? And answering the reading questions on the discussion board by Wednesday. And then we're going to get started talking about our essay itself. You thought we'd never get there. We're just going to talk about books. Surprise! Now we get to talk about the essay. So that's coming up on Thursday. Take a look at the compare and contrast PowerPoint and videos. And then you're going to be practicing some compare and contrast skills in the form of a free write. Over the weekend, you're going to be finishing the Murder on the Orient Express novel. So plan your time wisely and well. If you know these are the things you need to do this week, set yourself up for success. Because as we remember from our introductory lecture video, research psychologists say 2 things set apart successful students. It's not IQ. It's how well they can manage time and how well they can network, how they can make friends and find support strategies. So make sure you're spending your time wisely and well so that you can reach that success that I know we all want for this class. So here's our calendar. If you have any questions about the calendar, as always, reach out. Otherwise, let's take a look at our modules in our English 101 class. So if we go down to the modules tab, we are still in Project 1, so everything you need is going to be that Project 1 folder. As you get started with your papers, as we start looking at themes and types of academic writing this week, do keep in mind that the e-tutoring is still functioning at CBC, as is the Writing Center. It's all moved online. So if you need help, help is still available for you. So don't be afraid to reach out and get that. Murder on the Orient Express, our Project 1. We've got some great stuff for you here. So our Murder Mystery Tropes PowerPoint available here. Symbolism, after you've read the Is That a Symbol chapter in the modules, you might consider taking a look at that symbolism PowerPoint. Might be helpful for you. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Fun video if you want some more historical context. You get some historical context from the Lindbergh tragedy. But if you want to know what's going on in the world at this time in terms of what's happening in different countries, how that might contribute to some of the stereotypes we see in this novel, like the stereotype that Italians like to stab, that's a fun one. You can take a look at this historical context video. It'll tell you a little bit more about that. It'll tell you why the British characters are kind of stuck up and aloof. It'll tell you a little bit more why the Americans are kind of made fun of for being loud and rowdy and kind of over the top. So it'll talk a lot about the kind of cultural stereotypes that are taking place in the novel. So if you want a little bit more background on that, this video will be real helpful for you as well. And then in our supporting materials, the chapter you're going to be reading for the discussion board is linked for you right here. Is that a symbol? Once again, that's a PDF of a book chapter from Thomas Foster's excellent book, How to Read Literature Like a Professor. Make sure you read that, and it'll help you get where you need to go in terms of answering those discussion questions. Lots of good supporting materials for you there. And then as we get to the end of our week, this week, you will see that we've got all kinds of helpful things. Our compare and contrast PowerPoint that you're going to be looking at on Thursday is for you here, as well as the essay prompt. And our compare and contrast free writing activity. So everything you need to kind of understand where we're going, how we're going to take the material we read in the novel and turn it into an essay, all available for you here. That's where we're headed. That's where we're going. Please make sure to reach out if you have questions. I'm here to help. Enjoy your reading of the novel. I can't wait to see your guys' perspective on how it all wraps up and how you're going to turn the ideas of justice and revenge into an excellent compare and contrast essay. So have a great day, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and I will see you in this virtual medium throughout the week.